Sean Bauer, welcome to the Pre-Construction Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. I
Finally, after 4 years.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It took us a while, but it's like that with most guests. You know, you reach
Really?
out, you set the seed, and it generally takes time. But it's been, and again, I do a lot over Zoom as well. There's nothing like in person.
Yes.
You would experience that yesterday. So we had the Pre-Construction Ryder Cup, which is sitting here in front of us. We played that yesterday, but I caught the tail end of your talk yesterday, which was really informative.
Nice.
Do you enjoy it? It was a full room.
Loved it. Surprised by the fact it was a full room.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. Even the people from Hanson Wade were surprised. They had to add a lot of chairs during the beginning of the presentation, which is nice. And I'm getting a lot of positive feedback today, yesterday. A lot of people are reaching out to me. They want to know more. They want to see what are the next steps of AI in pre-con. Not a lot of people talking about AI in pre-con. I'm actually the only GC here during the 3 days that is actually presenting about AI.
Incredible. It was unbelievable. And not just the amount of people that showed up, but the amount of questions that came after that. The interest was brilliant. And
Yes.
we're going to get into that in great detail. And Sean's going to run us through what was discussed for the people that weren't able to make it. But before we do that, let's set the scene. Was it always construction for you?
Always construction, yes, but not always pre-con. So I fell in love with construction at 7 years old.
Nice.
My dad brought me, my dad was in construction, he brought me on a big construction site. And I remember at 7 saying one day I wanted to manage a job like that.
Wow.
So my parents, explained you need to go to university if you want to succeed, and that's what I did. So I went to college and university, studied in engineering. And when I got out of school, I really wanted to be a project manager, and I got my first job as assistant project manager. So we're late 90s. So in Canada, late 90s, we're in a recession. So we're coming out of a recession, North America in general. So there are not many jobs compared to estimators today that are coming out of school. There's plenty of jobs on the market, and it's been like that the last 20 years. But I didn't start that way. I started more like in a rough industry. So back then, when you had a job opportunity, you had to jump on it. It was like winning a lottery. So I applied for a job of assistant project manager, and I got it. And actually, it was my internship, my last internship during university. And after 4 months, my boss said, Sean, can you extend your internship to 8 months? So I said, of course. I needed the money, I needed the experience, and 8 months became 12 months and a permanent job. So I finished my studies part-time,
Nice.
which was rough, but you're young, you can do it. No family, no kids, so it's easier to do it. And I was just excited that I was on construction sites. But after a couple of years of doing that, my boss said, there's no more projects for us to manage, but we do have an opening in estimation. I remember probably rolling my eyes in front of him saying,
Like everyone does, yeah.
oh, no way, not estimation. And the reason I didn't want to go there is because in university, the way it was taught, and it's still like that today, it's like, oh, it's quantity takeoff, it's pricing. It's stressful. So I really started with a really bad perception of what estimation was. And today I don't say estimation, I say pre-con, because it would be nice if teachers would talk about pre-con also instead of estimation. So I started in the estimation team, bidding lump sum public jobs, 3 million, 5 million. And after a couple of months of doing that, really discovered a passion. I love the competitive part.
Yes.
I really realized that I was more competitive than I thought.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was something that could be so exciting, winning jobs, bidding against competitors, being first or second or third really was cool. And also realized that it's more than just quantity takeoff and pricing. It's relationship, it's winning the jobs, it's the strategy, constructability, how you win jobs, who you partner with. So that part that is not well taught, I think, often in schools, really enjoy that part, winning the jobs. Same time, I also discovered statistics because I got interested in win rates. The company I was working for didn't do that, so I started looking at win rates. So what's a normal win rate? Got interested also in inflation, taking past projects, updating them to new costs, actual cost today. So started doing that. Getting statistics and inflation. So that became another passion of mine. So winning jobs, doing inflation, statistics, and eventually in my career. So I moved jobs a couple times, got the opportunity after 10 years working with that company, got the possibility to work on big major hospitals in Montreal. So jumped on board, wanted the opportunity to work on major projects. And then later on, I became a chief estimator, director of estimation for a couple of companies. And 10 years ago, I ended up at Pomerleau, where I've also grown from pre-con manager to director, and now almost 2 years as the first VP of pre-con for Pomerleau for the buildings division. So.
Brilliant. I mean, it's a great insight into where you've been and where you're at now, and it's Pomerleau, and I love the competitive side of things, because I would imagine that the competitive side keeps you on the cutting edge of everything in technology, because if you don't, you get left behind, and winning bids and winning projects becomes even more difficult, because the pre-construction technology stack is so important to every company that's listening to this. Everyone thinks that they're so behind the eight ball, whether it be data or technology, but everyone's just trying to figure it out, and Pomerleau are no different. Talk to me about your pre-con tech stack, but also your AI journey so far.
So I'll start with probably like my history of technology. It's kind of explain why I came to AI. Like I said yesterday during the workshop, I said I'm probably part of a last generation that has gone from paper to AI. Because most people that start now in pre-con or started 10 years ago, they've all used technology in general. So I remember like rolling out blueprints, measuring with rulers, and early in my career, probably like 6 months or 12 months after doing estimation, I told my boss, this doesn't make sense. There are tools out there, and I saw like the first digital table where you could measure plans with a stylus. We needed to buy that, and my boss said, go ahead, So one of the good things is that I was lucky in my career where I always had companies that wanted to invest in technology because they knew it was important, not only for construction, but for pre-con. Pre-con is as important as construction, but not all companies believe in that. So I've always driven technology with all the companies I work for. So choosing tools, making sure that we're always up to date, and eventually that led to my arrival at Pomerleau. When I got there, I saw that they had an innovation as a value. Huge innovation department. They do drones. They got robotics. Big innovation team. 5D estimation. So it allowed me to go further in my career. So early. A couple of years after my arrival, I shared a vision with some of our executive VPs about the possibility of one day having AI in pre-con, and we're in 2017, so that was pretty bold.
That was way
because
ahead.
That's way before ChatGPT and Copilot. But we had people in the innovation team that had studied in programming and machine learning, and they had convinced me that it was something that would eventually be possible. And I remember one of our execs saying, Sean, love your dream, love your vision of where you want to go, but technology is not there today. But 3 years later, in 2020, a Montreal company called Zetan Industries that are in AI, they approached us. So they met with one of our execs, and they had a project saying, listen, you got tons of data. Have you ever thought about using your data matched with AI and machine learning to see the possibility of doing cost predictions. So I get a call from our VP of Innovation and says, Sean, you're going to be on a new project. We're calling it Project Sean because we really want to...
What a compliment.
Yeah, well, more or less, I guess.
or a hindrance, maybe.
Yeah, sometimes. But the idea was we like the way you think and see jobs, and we want to develop a tool that is able to predict jobs the way that you analyze projects in your head, and AI will be able to bring it further. So we did a first proof of concept in October of 2020. I mean, it was jaw-dropping. With just about 20 estimates, they were able to predict the outcome of the cost of a job with the data we had given them. So we decided at that point, there's a huge possibility with AI. So a year later, it took a year to finalize contracts, and we actually did a competition externally with different AI companies in Montreal. Ended up giving a contract, and we started the project. So we spent 2 years before getting to a first beta version, which we launched internally in spring of 2023. And a year ago, we launched the first MVP. So the idea was to build a cost prediction AI tool that is using our historical database to predict costs.
And how accurate is it right now?
So we've learned so much with AI. So AI is as accurate as the data you'll be feeding it. Yeah. So
when you say accurate, are you talking about how clean it is, relevant it is, and specific data points?
It's a bit of everything. So we're not just we're using the AI in this case to do benchmarking. Okay. We're not doing that to win jobs. Yeah. The idea is that I'm often like the person that clients will call, Sean, how much for a hotel, how much for a condo project? And historically, what we would do is that we have our Excel sheets, or we had software that we had all the costs in the tools, and we would benchmark them side by side. But benchmarking for me is more than just costs. It's metrics. Yeah. It's project analytics. You need KPIs. And when you're comparing two projects that seem similar, sometimes the costs are different because it's not just the cost of the concrete or the curtain wall, it's the shape of the building that has an impact on the price. So we pushed all of that data, so the metrics and the costs, in the AI tool, and the AI analyzes all of that. So when you have tons of projects that are similar, the AI can actually be at 90, 100%, of certainty level, but when a project is far from your benchmarks, the certainty level will drop down to 50. So our partner that developed the tool, he came up with the certainty level, which I thought was really brilliant, because it allows me as a user, when I'm doing a benchmark, when I see that the certainty level is high, it means that I have a lot of benchmarks in my database. When the certainty level is low, it means that there are no projects that are similar to the one we're benchmarking. So then we have to go back to traditional methods, or we get to a point where we realize that we need to add projects in the database.
How far do you go back? You mentioned adding projects there. I know Ed mentioned that if you go back so far, it can't understand that the cost of something or inflation was so high. Do you go back far, 5, 10 years?
We go back for about 5 years now. Okay. Most of the projects are 2-3 years. The thing is that going further is complicated because sometimes the estimates weren't standardized the same way they are today. We weren't measuring metrics either. So we do choose select projects from the past where we'll have an estimator. So I actually have a team of analysts and specialized estimators that do statistics or historical cost data collection. So they'll redo surfaces, quantities, rebuild the estimate the way that they're put in the AI tool. So it's a bit time consuming. So we do we're careful on the projects that we select. And also, we feed the AI only with detailed estimates. So we're not polluting the database with high-level estimates, conceptual estimates. The idea is producing either rough order of magnitude estimates or conceptual estimates with AI for now. Hopefully one day, I think technology will allow us to be able to go further, having a class 4, class 3 estimate. Not sure we'll be able to do class 1 estimates or detailed estimates yet, but in the next couple of years, we want to go further with AI. I mean, there's a huge possibility.
The one thing I liked what you mentioned there is the standardization of the estimates that go into the AI.
Yeah.
You obviously now have that in mind going forward with future projects. So have you got a standardization now of estimates that your estimator and your pre-construction team, they put together? Everything goes through that standard?
Yeah, so I'd say not everything today. It depends. We started like with the Montreal office around 4 or 5 years ago, creating that standard because how do we standardize coast to coast? It would have been difficult back then. And when I arrived at Pomerleau 10 years ago, there was like no standards at all. So something new for the estimators. So we're doing it one office at a time. So now we're up to 3 offices that are pretty much aligned. At the beginning, we thought standardizing high level master format, unit format would be sufficient. Now we realize after doing a couple of tests and our learning with AI, today we realize that the more detailed we're going to be going with AI, the more it's going to help us also on the long term. So we started standardizing now to like almost nuts and bolts, and that's where we're going now for the future, because we want to make sure that in 5 years, when technology will be even better than it is today, well, at least our estimates will have been built with enough detail and standards so that we'll be able to use the full potential of AI.
Brilliant. What's the adoption been like within your team of AI?
Well, right now we leave it at a pre-con manager level and director level. It's not a tool that needs to be used, that can be used by senior estimators, because you do need a lot of experience understanding the projects that are in the AI database. So we're leaving at that group for now. Eventually we'll most probably bring it down to senior level estimators. I have colleagues that would love to use the tool, but you need to understand projects and how the estimates were built and how they're built in the AI for that part. Whereas if you look at AI for quantity takeoff, well, we expect all the estimators to be able to do that eventually.
Very, very interesting. What excites you most now about the future? And I know we talked about how you've done the AI to improve the roadmap to improve decision-making capabilities, accuracy within estimating and team capacity. What part of that excites you?
So what excites me about AI is that we're really going to be eliminating or reducing low added value tasks. And I say it constantly in my presentations, and it often makes the crowd laugh. There's nothing exciting about counting doors all day, okay? As an estimator, if there's something that you don't like, whether it's bathroom accessories or measuring floor finishes, that's not the part of your job that is fun. The part that is fun is looking at a 3D model. How can you build it? What's the strategy of winning a job? The deals you can do with trades. That's the fun part of estimation. So what AI is going to bring to us as an industry is that we'll be able to focus on quality, relationship, collaboration, spending more time with the architect, the engineer, challenging the design. The AI will not be doing that. The AI will be doing the takeoff part, and eventually, probably, I hope, matching the takeoff with the prices in your database. I really want to go there. So I really believe that our jobs are going to change. And I've been saying this for a couple of years now. I'm convinced that probably within 5 to 10 years, we will probably not be calling ourselves estimators. I think estimators will become probably cost analysts or something similar like that, because the act of estimation itself will probably be done by AI. And your job will be more to analyze the data that the AI is giving you. So you'll be analyzing the takeoff, making sure that the AI is not making mistakes, because it can do mistakes sometimes because there are no standards regarding plans or specs. You'll be analyzing the prices, making sure, okay, is the price good considering the scope of work that needs to be done, or how high the ceiling has to be done. So you'll be adapting those prices, correcting mistakes, but you'll be saving a lot of time, and you'll be able to concentrate on tasks that are more important for estimators.
It's interesting you say that, and that's every estimator and senior estimator, pre-con manager listening to this is going, that's what I want. I'm fed up doing it. I don't want to do it anymore. Where during that, and there'll be people listening here going, Sean's miles ahead of where we're at when it comes to pre-con tech and AI. Where was the most difficult part of that whole roadmap and that whole journey? What was the hard part that maybe you can warn people and say, listen, be aware of this and don't be worried about it?
Yeah, so the hard part is at the beginning trusting AI.
Yeah.
And even personally, I had trouble. So you spend 2 years with a partner developing a tool, and we're talking about cost prediction. It's not measuring surfaces, so you can validate quantity takeoff easily. So the first time you're using tools like Toggle AI or WorkPack or Creo, it's easy for an estimator to validate that.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're looking at the cost prediction, it's a bit more complicated. So my first experience with AI, the first time I really used it on a project, I came up to a number of the project cost that I did more like a traditional method. The AI had a number that was real low compared to my number, so I didn't believe the AI. A month later, when the job went in, the real number was closer to what the AI had given us, and that really was a wake-up call, because I realized that we're all influenced by our emotions, by our history, by our experiences, and often we'll base our cost when we're benchmarking. We'll sometimes, add numbers, lower numbers, because we're basing ourselves on emotions and experience. The AI does not do that. The AI is purely analytical and looks at the numbers. The AI also sees patterns where we don't see patterns. And that was a bit scary at the beginning, because you realize we're pushing projects in the AI, and after a while, probably like after a year of using the AI, I get a call from the users at Zetan saying, Sean, in the last 10 projects that you sent us, 2 of them were refused by the AI. So the AI is also able to reject projects because they don't fit with the benchmarks you have.
Yeah.
And that was a bit scary at the beginning, because we thought the AI is wrong, there's something wrong. So I had one of my analysts looking at those jobs, realizing that estimators had made mistakes while they were filling out our metrics sheet, or the way the estimate was built. And we weren't focusing at that time at the detailed estimate, we were staying high level. So high level, everything made sense. But then when we got into detail and we were feeding all the detail to the AI is able to reject something because there's a pattern that it doesn't work. So there's a learning curve with AI. So I learned, and now I trust AI. And like I said yesterday, don't trust your data. And that's where it's important, because if with AI, the scary part is that if an estimator makes the same mistake 10 times, the AI sees it as truth, because it's a repetitive pattern. But if it happens only once, the AI will reject it. So it recognizes patterns. That's why it's important to standardize your estimates. But it also depends what you're doing with AI, because there are other things that you can do with AI. For example, ChatGPT, you don't need to be standardized. It goes through a search. There are tools out there that will do, for example, legal search, in specs or code compliance. When you're doing that with AI, you don't need standardized. But as soon as you're getting with numbers and cost prediction, that's where you really need to get in standardization of your estimates.
How long did it take you to get to the standardization? How many iterations did you go through? And
So we actually had to erase our AI the first year, because we realized that we had put too much garbage in the AI. So now the training was bad.
Yeah.
So after a while we said, okay, well, we're erasing the database and we're restarting from scratch because things weren't standardized. And we'll probably have to do that maybe like in the next year or so, because now we're adding metrics and we're adding another level of standards. But we know that it's not something that is problematic because once the AI, I mean, the structure is there, the tool exists, so it's more a question of maybe in 12 months we'll decide that we're putting 100 new projects in the machine, and we'll have it relearn from the good from the good data, and it's allowing us also to improve the predictions.
What Pomerleau? What do you guys do projects wise, and how does that work? What's your delivery method, and what projects do you go after?
So we do pretty much everything: buildings, civil. So in buildings, we'll do high-end. In buildings, we'll do residential condo projects.
Yeah.
We do hospitals, schools, public, private. So we're pretty much even like heavy industrial. We've done battery plants. So the only things we don't do are light industrial or light residential also. Okay. And we also do in civil, we'll do bridges, dams, heavy foundations. Contract mode, we do pretty much CMs, construction management contracts, hard bid, lump sums, public, private, and a lot of design build, modified design builds also. So we put all of those also in the AI. So the AI not only looks at the direct cost of a project, but we've built it, and it's learned how to also analyze indirect costs. So if I tell the AI I'm working on a design build, it knows that the indirect costs are higher than the lump sum. So it'll add the contingencies, it'll add the professional fees, consultant fees, risks, everything that is required for a design build. So it's able to analyze different type of contracts. So actually I'm even able with the AI to take a lump sum project and compare it with design builds. And we're even adding like location factors, inflation. You were asking earlier about inflation. So we're putting Statistics Canada produces indexes like Dodge Analytics in the States. So they're renowned for having good quality statistics across Canada. So we use those indices in our tool to be able to take past projects and bring them to $20-25. So all that is pushed in the AI. So it's not actually learning from that; it's just using that data to adjust prices.
Incredible. That's been able to leverage that and that internal intelligence. That's powerful. How powerful? What was the feedback from the team whenever you were doing that?
When they use a tool, which is probably not that often, because we still are limited in the type of projects that we use right now. But I mean, when they use it, they're very happy with the tool. They have no problem using it.
Nice, good. So how has Advancing Preconstruction been for you? Obviously, you've presented. You're now enjoying it. Have you been in looking at the tech? Is there anything in there that you think, whoa, we could use that, or we're in the market for that? There's so much tech at the minute.
There's so much tech, and I was telling somebody, I remember the first time I came to Advancing Preconstruction was in Houston.
Yeah.
There's probably like 12 tech
vendors.
companies. Now, like, there's a huge number of companies that are here. There's also a lot of attendees. Great conferences. I always love these conferences, but there's so much tech out there. It's hard to focus and choose. And we've been in that process in the last year. So the last year, a year ago, we decided to change our estimating software. So a lot of the companies out there have been analyzed by my team. So that's why I haven't had time to go see what's out there. But some of my team members are here and they're looking at the tech.
Nice. What did you change from, and what did you end up going with?
we can't say that for now.
It's still a secret.
yeah,
I nearly got you, Sean.
We're still in the final
stages. Very good. And I think that's another thing that people don't realise. It takes time. I mean, you can't just walk through those doors and there's an off-the-shelf one that fits straight into your company. How difficult was that process, just being able to look at them all and go, no, this is the best one for how we run our company now?
It's very difficult because depending on the company, sometimes our criteria are different than some smaller companies. Being a bigger nationwide company, and we have also a lot of government contracts, Defense Canada contracts. So there are things that we're looking at, like security. We don't allow a tech company to have a server in the States. The server needs to be in Canada. So we eliminate sometimes some of the players because they don't pass security. They're either startups. We try to avoid startups. And it's not because we're against startups. There are amazing startups out there, but we see that sometimes as a risk for a company, and we're not willing to take that risk. We prefer a company that has been around for at least a couple of years, already have users, but it's hard. The other thing that I'm looking at is, do they have an AI roadmap?
Yeah.
If they don't have an AI roadmap, sorry, we're not interested in dealing with them, even if they have the best tool around. So that's changed, like 4 or 5 years ago, most of the companies there had no AI roadmap, which was normal. And that's why 4 years ago we decided to develop our own tools, because nobody was doing anything. Now it's fun to see that what we develop, we're starting to hear other companies. I know some competitors in the States have built their own cost prediction tools, which is amazing, and they were doing the same thing that we were doing. But now we see some of the tech companies that are finally talking about adding AI, not only just in quantity takeoff, but also in estimation. So I've had some good discussions with some of these tech companies of where they want to go. So can't say who or what, but it's worth it talking to these companies because some have really shared vision like us of where the industry needs to go.
And that's what it's all about, and that's what Advancing Preconstruction is all about. It's so important, and I think that is why that your talk yesterday was full of people, because you're so far ahead when it comes to AI and technology. Again, nobody's got it right, but it just shows you how much, and it's refreshing hearing you share all your successes and your pains, so that nobody else has to go through that as well. That's what it's all about.
It's part of the gambling also, because we decided to partner with somebody for AI, to develop an AI tool. It's not everybody that has the resources, the ability to do that. It takes resources. It takes money. It takes resources internally. But we also buy a lot of out-of-the-box tools because if something works and it's very efficient, it's not worth it developing it yourself. So we do pretty much everything. We buy a lot out-of-the-box tools. Sometimes there are things that we'll develop ourselves. We do have other AI. We do have other AI tools that we are developing right now internally, and sometimes we partnership.
What are they like? What's the one that gets you excited? The AI tool that you think could be a big changer? I did try, Sean.
It's okay.
Oh, brilliant.
The only tool I'm allowed to talk about is the cost prediction tool. So
yeah, very good.
Sorry, Gareth.
But that's exciting. That's amazing. And listen, in 12 months when we come back and speak to you, we would love to hear about it and how it's going.
Listen, definitely. I mean, continue to follow me. I'm active on LinkedIn. I talk a lot about what we do, not only in AI, but market trends as a company. But for sure, I mean, if you follow Pomerleau, for sure in the next year we'll probably talk about other AI projects, and possibly also announce in a couple of months who we decided to partner with.
That would be exciting
in the tech world.
Love it. Yeah, Pomerleau, and we need more people like you. We need more people like Pomerleau. So I want to thank you. You mentioned
it's important to talk about what we're doing. And that's one of the things that sometimes some GCs, trades are afraid. They all think there are secrets in the industry. There are no secrets. And the more you talk about it, the more you're pushing your competition to go further. And often I get asked, aren't you afraid that your competitors are going to be better than you? No, it actually challenges us. Because if somebody scares us, it'll push us to go further with innovation. And that's probably one of the things about construction that is sad, is that sometimes we're afraid to talk about it. We keep it secret, but also, like, I was talking to estimators that they're still using Excel. I can't believe that in 2025, and I have nothing wrong, nothing. I mean, when you're still using these spreadsheets today in 2025, you're not helping the industry. The people that are here, the tech companies, they need licenses. They need, people to invest in them so that they can push their technology even further. So the more people stay away from spreadsheets and invest, in R&D, in university, in those tools, the better the industry will become quicker.
You talked about it earlier. Your competitiveness are the reason that you're so good at what you do, and you've got to a VP level at one of the best, most innovative companies. But we also see the tech in here. They're competition against each other. You're talking about estimating platform, takeoff tool. Unless we see more of these, then that will drive innovation.
Exactly.
And we're starting to see it in here. But we need the GCs to become more collaborative, not only with the tech companies, but with each other. I see it a lot in VDC. When I interview a VDC person, they're always talking to other VDC people. Yeah. I don't know what it is about that particular market. I think they just want it to work so hard. But the construction management people, pre-con departments, estimating departments, they've got to start being in the community. And that's what we have started.
Yeah.
Pre-con first is a community that can drive each other forward.
Absolutely. And it's true. We've seen it, like our innovation team. They have partnered with some of our competitors where they're doing research and development and sharing databases or what they're learning in robotics or VDC, which is great. In pre-con, we all think that it's a big secret. And having worked for many GCs, I know there are no secrets. I mean, we all work the same way. There are little differences, but not that much.
We're all trying to achieve the same thing.
Exactly. We all want to be better, and we all want our jobs to be fun.
Exactly. But not only that as well, there's enough jobs out there. You know that now.
Yes.
There's actually companies. We talked about a guy from McCarthy just on before you. He says they're constantly turning away jobs. Because they're doing it so well. So there's more than enough work to go out there. So
Absolutely.
When you get the work, surely you want to be delivering it in an easier way that especially keeps people happy and eliminates the churn of people, especially in pre-construction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Well, Sean, this has been amazing. If there is anybody listening to this now that says, I want to speak to Sean, I want to ask him a couple of questions, LinkedIn's the best place?
LinkedIn's the best way. A lot of people have reached out to me yesterday, and I tell them, contact me, share. I've already spoken to a lot, like in the past 2 or 3 years, I've met a couple of American GCs where sometimes we'll just reach out, talk, share knowledge, whether it's AI or not, or just pre-con. Reach out to me, and it might take a while before I answer, but I answer, I promise, because I like learning from others. That's why I love being here, just having discussions with other GCs or architects, trades. It's fun learning from everybody. I always come back home with lessons learned at Advancing Precon, which is amazing.
That's it. I love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.